This morning, a very good morning to you and welcome to Wake Up News Live on Globe TV with me, Sandra BOAHEN. Now let's take a look at the headlines. Coming up, the Bank of Ghana has upgraded the 1 cedi coin with enhanced security features. Also in the bulletin, the government has commissioned the Afenya Road Over Bridge, a key component of the new 97.7 kilometer standard gauge railway line from Tema to Mpakadan. And according to the Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amakwata, drivers should be prepared to pay more of the road tolls. We have for you the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Afia Koto, has asked the Upper West Region and the District Directors of Agriculture to implement pragmatic measures to prevent the smuggling of agricultural produce to neighboring countries. And an organization known as Single Man Constructors Association has threatened to take further action against the government if they are not paid what is due to them. Well, we've got this and many other details coming up to you on the Wake Up News, including sports. Please do stay with us.
Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siribreu, wabubu anudabia. Efiye ni ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siribreu. Wabubu anudabia Efiye ni ya manamansun sam Globe TV Yenim wapedi yenyina Yadiwi ya siribreu Baby ya wushabia. Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV yatisem ferama ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Let's now begin with the Bank of Ghana has upgraded the 1 cedi coin with enhanced security features. The upgraded 1 cedi coin will be issued into circulation from Monday, December 12, 2022. A statement from the Bank of Ghana has said the coin is similar to the existing 1 cedi coin in shape, form, and images. The coat of arms in front and the scale of justice at the back. The upgraded 1 cedi coin is by metallic with outer gold and inner silver. The coin has a pronounced rough edge and incorporates a Latin image which appears rectangular below the scale of justice at the back. The Latin image changes from a radiating star to a 1 Ghana cedi symbol sandwiched between 2 stars when tilted. The existing and the upgraded 1 cedi coins will co-circulate until the existing coin is gradually withdrawn. The bank encourages the public to accept the coins and use them. Now, President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday commissioned the Afenya Road Over Bridge, a key component of the new 97.7 kilometer standard gauge railway line from Tema to Mpakadan. In a brief speech, the president said he's optimistic the railway infrastructure will boost the economy.
Accompanied by the Minister of Roads, Transport and Railway, the President first visited the Afenya rail station to inspect the progress of work and later commissioned the Afenya Road Overpass, a key component of the 97-kilometer standard gauge railway line from Tema to Mpakadan. He explains that it was conceived to create a multimodal transportation network involving road, rail, and lake transportation, which will facilitate the haulage of cargo and the movement of people from the southern parts of the country to the northern sector.
Transportation of domestic freight and transit freight between Accra, Tema, and northern Ghana, and further to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger is essentially road-based via Kumasi, Tamale, Bogatanga, Navrongo, and Paga. This over-dependency on our road network, coupled with the lack of other transport alternatives, particularly between Accra and Kumasi, has resulted in congestion, rapid deterioration of roads, and increases in road accidents.
The president stated that the dependency on Ghana's road network coupled with lack of other transport alternatives has resulted in congestion, rapid deterioration of roads, and an increase in road accidents. He believes the full complement of a rail network will go a long way to enhance freight and haulage of goods, thereby reducing the cost of doing business.
The project will address the imbalance between transport modes for long-distance transit and domestic freight movements from Accra Tema northwards and vice versa using the Volta Lake transport system. In particular, existing port operations at the Tema port will be improved, resulting in reduced vessel waiting time, container dwelling time, which will improve the competitiveness of the port, as well as lead to reduction in freight transport costs and enhance safety. Transporting freight and transit cargo via the lake transport system reduce cost of shipment and by extension reduce the cost of doing business in Ghana.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram constituency, Sam George, called on the president to complete the Afienya-Dawenya stretch as well as the Chopoli to Old Ningo Road to facilitate efficient transportation within the corridor.
Even as we invite the president to come back home and retire with his beautiful Rebecca after his term in 2024, I want to, on behalf of my chiefs and people, tell him that as he comes home, he may use the Afienya-Dawenya road. And it will be important that once we have the roadmaster here who has shown goodwill to the people of this constituency, we will see a facelift and completion of the Afienya-Dawenya road under his term, as well as the road from Chopoli to Old Ningo, so that when the president is coming home, he can drive smoothly and not feel the bumps that we are feeling today. Mr. President, you have the nickname Ado Showboy. Show us something in Ningo Prampram before your term is over.
Construction of the project began in July 2018 and is expected to be completed by December 2022. It was previously planned to be completed in 2021 but was delayed due to COVID-19.
Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has cut the sword for construction works to begin on phase 2 of the Tema Motorway Roundabout Improvement Project, estimated at $26 million. The project will provide a third-tier interchange on the existing two-tier interchanges, bringing to over 12 the number of interchanges completed or ongoing under the government.
The project is expected to be completed within 30 months. The GFE Engineering Corporation of Japan is the contractor, with the CTI Engineering Corporation as the project supervisor. Other major construction works to be undertaken include a flyover or overpass on the Tema intersection, a mechanical stabilization wall, a signal-controlled at-grade intersection, and ancillary works. In addition, a 142-meter span continuous composite steel girder bridge will be constructed, as well as a 2,820-meter steel concrete composite slab, steel box section frame pier, and a 1.8-kilometer bridge and ramps. Ancillary road works will be carried out while the existing traffic lights will be redesigned. Dr. Bawumia, cutting the sword on Monday, urged the contractor to ensure adequate traffic management during the construction period to ease the traffic flow and minimize the inconvenience to the public. He said the government had constructed a total of 947 kilometers of overlay in the Greater Accra region since 2017.
The improvement of the Tema Motorway Interchange, Phase 2, will involve the construction of a viaduct to link the Tema Harbour Road towards the Ashaman roundabout on the Akosombo Road. The grade separation will improve traffic flows around the Tema Motorway roundabout. Accra Tema Motorway will be upgraded into a 10-lane facility. The works will include a 4-lane expressway, a 3-lane service roads on either side, and construction of the Lashibi Community 18 Teshi Link interchanges, the remodeling of
Now, according to the Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwasi Amoakwanta, drivers should be prepared to pay more of the road tolls as the government makes a U-turn to reintroduce the road toll after only a year of abolishment. Speaking to the media, he said the road toll is coming back because people fail to pay the e-levy.
Highways, when built to the right specification, will come with towing facilities. But those towing facilities, will be electronic towing facilities. It won't come like the form we used to have in the past, where people were in a queue for a very long time. The whole year, we were getting an average of 78 million, cedis. If you deduct salaries and whatever from it, how much is left? Depending upon the ground condition, that amount of money cannot even build 10 kilometers of road. And I'm saying, depending upon the ground condition of the road that you want to construct. If all of us had contributed to the e-levy, it would have brought in a lot of money to replace the original toll booths. And we would have built more roads for ourselves. Tolls have not been cancelled or abolished. The law is still there. So if they have to be in the queue for 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, and you get there and you pay 50 pesos, Ghana was paying the lowest toll in the whole world. I challenge anybody who can tell me any country which was paying tolls lower than Ghana. We were paying the lowest toll in the whole world. Okay? Meanwhile, we want excellent, good roads in our country. And rightly so. If every Ghanaian, including yourself, myself, yes, we want good things, we must be prepared to pay for tolls. If they should come back, gradually, one way or the other, it will come in a different form. We will no longer.
Moving on, an organization known as Single Man Constructors Association has threatened to take further action against the government if they are not paid what is due to them. The contractors lament that for over 4 years now, the government has stopped paying contractors for work done, a situation they say is having a negative toll on both businesses and their personal lives.
The organization is in anguish over unpaid salaries by the government. According to them, they tried severally to get in touch with major stakeholders, but all effort proved futile. This, they say, is making their lives and businesses miserable since they cannot pay back loans being granted to them by banks. Their petition was presented by Minority Leader Haruna Idrusu to Parliament with hopes that the government will be grateful enough to pay them what is deserved of them.
That's the meaning I say. Juma ya yen in fear be brave. Omutia isika. Sanse nipa no be brave. Akoje besia. Ama namso ama be brave kra ejeni dwane. Enti ye be sre se enne ya semo e dia be to parliament ni. Omonhwe na omokebi.
We've sent petitions today. Some of us are at the Independence Square waiting because we want to go this way first. The next one will be the massive one. It will be a different way altogether. So we are sending signal to the minister himself, the head of finance at the Ministry of Roads and Highways, all of them. They should release the funds. If somebody is stepping on the money, they should pay us the money. Because we cannot work for free. We are not doing this because we want to work for free. We also want to.
Coming up next, the National Union of Ghana Students has expressed worry over the ongoing strike action in our various tertiary institutions. Well, do stay with us for the details of these stories and many more.
Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siribreu, wabubu anudabia. Fiye ni ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siribreu, wabubu anudabia. Fiye ni ya manamansun sam. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina. Yadiwi ya siribreu, baby ya ushabia. Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV.
Union of Ghana students has expressed worry over the ongoing strike action in our various tertiary institutions. The student union on Monday held the National Executive Council meeting to consider the current state of strike action. According to the student union, the continued inability of the Ministry of Education to resolve the issues with the striking teacher unions is fueling growing unrest and frustration among students and the entire educational system. They say the consequence of these mass strike actions is devastating, with major academic and administrative activities such as teaching, marking, transcript release, admission processes, and graduation processes affected. Tertiary education in Ghana has almost been brought to a halt. Away from that, the Ghana National Association of Teachers has warned that the government that it will fiercely and vigorously resist any attempt to touch any fund under the debt exchange program that will be detrimental to its members, both in active service and retirement. In a press release signed by General Secretary for NAT, Thomas Tanko Musa, on Wednesday, the teacher group said it will therefore be suicidal for any government to touch our funds and unruffle our teachers financially, both in active service and retirement. The statement read, "We hereby inform our members that the Ghana National Association of Teachers has not been invited to any discussion on domestic debt exchange, and our stance remains unwavering. We wish to assure them further that their contributions and service remain intact and that we shall fiercely and vigorously resist any attempt to touch the said contributions and savings by the government under any debt exchange, debt structure adjustment, or whatever measure which would shortchange our members, both in active service and retirement." Now, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Afiya Akoto, has asked the Upper West Region and District Directors of Agriculture to implement pragmatic measures to prevent the smuggling of agricultural produce to neighboring countries such as Burkina Faso and Mali, to the disadvantage of citizens in Ghana. The minister said this in Wa during his working visit to the region to interact with stakeholders in the agricultural value chain to ascertain their challenges and announce the government intervention in the sector.
Smuggling of food produce had become a national concern in recent times. According to Dr. Akoto, district directors on the boards must be alert at all times to ensure such illegal activities are halted. He explained that the government used taxpayers' money to subsidize fertilizer for the farmers to produce under the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Thus, the people in the country must be the beneficiaries of the outcome of that program and not nationals of other countries.
And it was all about the intelligence we are getting about the massive filtering of our food crops across our borders, the Togo border, the Burkina border, and some parts of the Cote d'Ivoire border. It is really a worry. Anybody here who has anything to do, whether just the knowledge that you've seen any foreign truck plying our routes, some are going as far as our farm gate. I heard that there were loads and loads of Nigerian number-plated trucks going to Fombisi. This was 2 months ago. And because of that, on my way from Upper West, I went straight through to Fumbisi to see what is happening there.
He continued that the government had signed an executive instrument against the export of raw food produce and warned of possible food crisis if care is not taken.
I realized that the president had today, 4 o'clock, called an emergency meeting specifically on this issue. So you see that is a huge national problem. And I want every one of you here to cooperate to make sure that we nip this thing in the bud. I don't even know, because my information 3 weeks ago was that all harvest in this region in particular has already left our borders to Burkina and other places. And I went to the valley today to see that not one grain is left to be harvested. Everything has been harvested. And where are the stocks? Where are the stocks? So if you don't take care, there will be a huge crisis by February, March, April. We will have nothing.
Before we end the news, let's take some news summaries across some parts of the world. Coming up next is the sports update.
Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siri brewu, wabubu wanu debia. Fiye ni ya manamansun sem. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siri brewu, wabubu wanu debia. Fiye ni ya manamansun sem. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siri brewu, baby ya wushabia. Globe TV, bringing the world to you. Globe TV, yatisem ferama, ya muhiya ya sumbunti ya obabia. Globe TV, yenim wapedi yenyina, yadiwi ya siri.
Welcome to the sports segment of the Wake Up Show. My name is Robert KONYEH. Let's take a look at some stories making headlines this morning. FIFA President Gianni Infantino says the 2022 World Cup group stages has been the best in the competition's history. Also, members of the Spanish national team were spotted leaving their hotel after exiting the World Cup. We have for you behind the scenes in the Brazilian team hotel, where they continue the pigeon dance after beating the Koreans. Also, England defender Kyle Walker says he has all what it takes to stop Kylian Mbappe when they take on France in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Netherlands captain Virgil van Dijk has spoken on how prepared they are to face Leo Andres Messi and his Argentina teammate. Also, one of the most interesting talents of our time, Eden Hazard, has announced his retirement from the national team following Belgium's World Cup disappointment. And in some local stories, Ghana Football Association Council member Dr. Tony Obin says it's not surprising that the Black Stars couldn't qualify from their group. Also, German outfit Borussia Dortmund have reportedly contacted the representatives of Mohamed Kudus for a potential transfer. Now, the details of this and many other stories will be coming after this short break.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you.
You're welcome back. Now, in our very first story, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says the 2022 World Cup group stages has been the best in the competition's history.
I've seen all my... the best group stage of a World Cup ever. So this is very promising for the remainder of the World Cup. But the matches have been of great quality in beautiful stadiums. We knew that already. However, as well, the public who was there was incredible. Over 51,000 on average. Record-breaking figures on TV. We are already at over 2 billion viewers, which is really incredible. 2.5 million people in the streets of Doha, and a few 100,000 every day in the stadiums, all together, cheering together, supporting their teams. Fantastic atmosphere, great goals, incredible excitement. Surprises, small teams beating big teams. Well, there are no more small teams and no more big teams.
Also, members of the Spanish national team were spotted leaving their hotel after a disappointing exit at the hands of the Moroccan national team. So those were the Spanish national team players. Also, let's take a look at some behind the scenes at the team hotel of the Brazilian national team after they beat Korea by 4-1.
Fazendo a dança do povo, fazendo a dança do povo.
That was the pigeon dance from the Brazilian national team, the Samba Boys. Also, England defender Kai Walker says he has all what it takes to stop Kylian Mbappe when they face France in the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Obviously, it's always going to help because I've played against him, a number of times now, as you just said, with Manchester City and PSG. But just as well as what you've just said, he's a fantastic player in great form. So it's not going to be an easy task, but it's one that, as a professional footballer, you want to play against the best. And as you just said, I think he's, one of the best, if not the best in the world at the minute. Do I understand the focus? Of course I do. I play football, so I do understand what I need to do, and that's obviously to stop him. It's probably easier said than done, but I don't underestimate myself. As we've just said there, I've played him before, and I've come against a lot of great players, in my time playing for England and also Man City and the clubs that I played for. So I have to treat it as another game. I have to take obviously extra care and give him the respect he deserves, but not too much respect because he's also playing England, and we can cause them problems. Okay, it's going to be a tough game, but not one player makes a team.
Also, Netherlands captain Virgil van Dijk has spoken on how prepared they are as a team to face Lionel Messi and Argentina.
Just for him, we're preparing to beat Argentina and one of the best players of all time, maybe Leo Messi. Obviously, he's done it for so many years. I would say him and Cristiano Ronaldo have been, the two stand-up players of the last 2 decades, and there's only respect towards what they achieved. And for us now, obviously, it's not the case of preparing just for him. We're preparing to beat Argentina, and obviously we know how big of a part he is of their success over the years. We have been practicing already since the last period we've been together, but it doesn't guarantee that in a game where you play in a full stadium full of 80,000 people and there is a semi-final at stake, that everything will go the same. So we try to do as much as possible in order to be ready for it, but hopefully we don't come to that stage and we can decide the game before getting into extra time or penalties. But yeah, if it's there and the time is there, we have to be ready for it, and we practiced.
Also, in other stories, Belgium captain Eden Hazard has announced retirement from international football. After 126 caps and 33 goals, Eden Hazard has retired at the age of 31. The 31-year-old has opted against another qualification cycle ahead of the 2024 European Championship, and after that, the 2026 World Cup. Days after Belgium's group stage elimination in Qatar, Hazard has called time on his international duty after 14 years and has now put his sole focus on breathing in new life into his Real Madrid career. Let's take a look at some best moments during his playing days for the Belgian national team. So that was Eden Hazard, one of the best players in our time. Now to some local stories. Ghana Football Association Executive Council member Dr. Tony Obin believes that the Black Stars exiting the World Cup at the group stage is not surprising at all. The Black Stars failed to achieve the semi-finals target as they were eliminated last Friday following a 2-0 defeat to Uruguay. Ghana, after losing to Portugal and beating South Korea, needed a win or a draw against the South Americans to progress to the knockout stage, but yet they failed. Andrew Ayew missed a penalty in the first half, and a poor defending resulted in a first half defeat at the Al Janoub Sports Stadium. Dr. Tony Obin, however, says he wasn't actually surprised about the turn of events. Now, German side Borussia Dortmund have reportedly contacted the representatives of Ghana midfielder Mohamed Kudus ahead of the transfer window. The Bundesliga giants have opened negotiations with the camp of the player as they prepare an offer for the World Cup star. Dortmund are set to break the bank and pay around 20 million euros for the Ajax attacking midfielder. The Black Stars midfielder has been on the radar of several clubs, including Liverpool, who sent scouts to Qatar to watch the player. Kudus was Ghana's brightest spot at the World Cup, contributing 3 goals for the Black Stars as the West African nation exited the tournament at the group stage. He scored 2 goals and provided an assist. Barcelona have also been tracking the 22-year-old for some time now, while Everton came close to signing the player in the summer transfer window. With Jude Bellingham in high demand, the German outfit see the Ghanaian as their next marquee signer. Kudus' contract with Ajax ends in 2025. So the boy needs the prayers of all Ghanaians as to where he is going to play his football within the next few seasons. Now that's how we draw the curtains down on sports. My name is Robert Konyeh. Do meet us at 9 a.m. for Sports Arena. Thank you so much for your time.
Globe TV, bringing the world to you.
You're welcome back, and thank you very much, Robert, for the sports update. Let's take a recap of the top stories. The Bank of Ghana has upgraded the 1 cedi coin with enhanced security features. Also, the National Union of Ghana Students has expressed worry over the ongoing strike action in our various tertiary institutions. The Ghana National Association of Teachers has warned to fiercely resist government debt exchange program. Well, that brings us to the end of the Wake Up News with you this morning. I am Sandra at BOAHEN. It's now time for Yesinase with Kofi Asamoah, and you do enjoy the rest of our programs.